Welcome to a winning edition of Dub Nation, the official show of Utah Warriors of Major League Rugby. I am Jarom Jordan alongside Banksy. What do you think of the Utah Warriors City Edition jersey that was just released?
You want to feel like a superhero, get you into that kit, a big representation to the heritage of the state of Utah with the Eagles Gate that crosses State Street right near downtown and the old Brigham Young House, a nod to the pioneer heritage of the state of Utah. Plus, it looks like you're about to go fight crime.
Hey, I love it. And speaking of jerseys, 2 days ago, the boys had Jersey Day at work. Some dudes repping former cities they lived in. Joel Hodgson representing the Utah Jazz. Of course, Lance Williams would represent Hawaii. It was a fun day, man. Yeah, there's some cool jerseys there.
I like some of the old school jersey, the old club jerseys that some of the boys had on. You see Zion Going in one there. I know Takashi was in another one as well from some of his club days. You see Danny Giannoscoli there repping Philly in the hometown. Love to see it from the boys.
The Powder Blues always look good. Okay, we're on the Utah Warriors Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube account. Subscribe to the podcast version on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and SoundCloud, and listen to the show rebroadcast weekly on ESPN 700 in Salt Lake City. Here's what's on the show today. We'll recap the game against Toronto. Bailey Wilson, El Capitan, will chat with us. We'll review round 6 around Major League Rugby, preview round 7, and preview the matchup with the New England Free Jacks coming up on Friday Night Lights in Harriman. Let's go. But first, the recap of Toronto. This was a game where Utah was trailing for a lot of it. They're trailing at the half. They're trailing with 17 minutes to go. An explosion of 5 tries at the end win it. We start in the 9th minute, and finally, Joel Hodgson and the Utah Warriors attempted a penalty goal, and they made it 3-0.
I thought it was a good leadership call from the captains. Get out ahead early, get some points on the board, and reward the boys for some of their hard work.
Joel's been waiting 5 games for this, and he's finally rewarded. 15th minute, Lolani Faliva scores a try. It's 5-3 Toronto. Toronto had only scored 3 tries in 4 games. They end up getting on the board, and Utah's trailing in the 15th.
Faliva, a big, physical, powerful runner. He did it all game long and got an MLR Team of the Week nod for it. He was really one of the big, bright stars for them in this match.
Guy's a beast, man. 27th minute, Joel Hodgson, no good on a penalty goal. 36th minute, the Utah Warriors don't know how to play without cards, I guess, because every week it feels like there's a yellow card or something. Thomas Tuaval gets a yellow card for a high tackle. What do you think of this?
I think it was definitely a penalty for up at the shoulders. In the rules, it's definitely a yellow card, but I think that needs to be reverted back to some of the old rules where the head referee and 4th official can look at the intent. There was no malicious intent there. That was just a good, solid, old-school rugby hit. If you're going to run at Tommy Tuaval, he's going to hit you.
Yes, he will. Absolutely. 37th minute, Gene Simonton tried for Toronto. Sam Malcolm makes the conversion. It's 12-3. That's the low point of the game, but guess what? It's all Warriors after this. 40th minute, right before the half, Joe Mano had an incredible move to score a try. Conversion no good. Short-handed try, 12-8. Toronto at the half. This is another Joe Mano try. Add it to the highlight reel, baby.
And it was a great line from Tyler Fisher that broke the gap. And then that quick right foot step on Toronto just left him guessing, nowhere to go, down to his knees, praying to the rugby gods that he finds the tackle. You're going to find Joe Mano with the big finish.
Reminded me of Chris Berman. Whoop! 46th minute, out of the sheds. Joe Mano, another shorthanded try. Conversion good. Utah takes the lead, 15-12 at this point. And this is a situation where Joe, outside the 22, gets all the way down, tackled, and then makes his one move, the reach out, and dots it down.
I think that's just backing himself for pace. Lance Williams got the ball. The flick out from Mika Cruze there. Then Lance getting the ball to Joe in space early was key because that's what kept that defender inside that opened it up. And then just the pace and power to finish. You get one move on the tackle, and he was able to outstretch the arms and finish this. So the quick step to the inside, and then boom, right there, that first extension to score it down. Just doing what finishers do and scoring at the end of movements. It's been so fun watching Joe Mano this year.
It's a double for Joe Mano. He's not done. More coming up. 58th minute, Joel Hodgson penalty goal is good. He ends up making 2 out of 4 on the day. 62nd minute, Ross Browdy try. Sam Malcolm conversion's good. Toronto's up 19-18 at the hydration break. At this point, Banksy, we're like, okay, is Utah going to win this or not? Because Toronto is up with 17 minutes to go.
They were scrappy from the get-go. They came in banged up and shorthanded and really just kind of threw all caution to the wind, played a really great 60 minutes of rugby, and this was probably the last real highlight for them.
Okay, then it gets nuts. The Gorilla Squad was loaded. A lot of starters there. 65th minute, Polisike, a try from Lance Williams. This was fantastic. This is the game-winning score, and Utah wasn't done after this.
And this is another example of getting the ball early into space, and Lance Williams was never stopping there. He just lined him up and trucked Malcolm. That's going to hurt his kids' feelings.
Oh, my gosh. This was one of the tries of the year. Polisike, Lance Williams. Williams is like, I'm a linebacker with the ball. Boom goes the dynamite. Over to Polisike. Just two college football players connecting right there, which was awesome. Okay, 69th minute. Joe Mano goes for a hat trick. The second hat trick in Warriors history. The Superman dive to make it a third. And how about the kick from Joel Hodgson?
Joel Hodgson was so good in this game, especially late, learning where these gaps in the defenses were and how they were playing and putting players in a position to score tries. And this touch doesn't get any better.
30-19 at this point. 3 minutes later, Mika Kruse makes it 35-19 as the Warriors just keep pouring it on, man. It was a fun final 20.
This movement started with another great line break from Tyler Fisher, and you see him chasing Joe Mano there. And then this play off to Lasike, who gets the crash ball in. And then Hodgson got a lot of work to do, shakes the one defender, and then another dot. Mika Kruse with the outstretched paw and the big finish down the sideline.
What a grab, because it's one-handed. It's going to go into touch unless he gets it. Joel Hodgson, another aggressive move, avoids a tackle, kicks it out to Mika Kruse, who's also a try-scoring machine. And Utah just had Toronto on skates, and it really was great play from the Gorilla Squad, from Joel Hodgson, from Utah, who really turned it on. 74th minute, Onehunga Havili gets his first try of the year. It's 42-19, and now it's like, oh, this game is over. Utah's just having fun.
It was a great trot from the captain, Bailey Wilson. Nobody marked over the ruck, and he just picked the ball up and ran for 40 meters, found the trailing players. And this is the work rate from Havili there. Gets the ball inside to Kruse, gets back up on his feet, and he's there for the offload on the ball he just offloaded.
And then 1 minute before the end of the game, Caleb Makani scores another one, 47-19 in the end. The white scrum cap diving, dots it down. They reviewed it. It was good. Final stats in this one. Utah scores 7 tries, finally makes a couple of penalty goals, which was fun to see. Tackles more, lineouts more. Everything was awesome. Just 5 penalties conceded. Couple of game notes. Season high in points, tries, and penalty goals. All good things. 47 points, third most in Warriors history. 28-point wins, tied for second largest in team history. 19 points allowed is tied for 7th fewest. There's a lot of information there. Let's just tell you it was all good. Joe Mano, 3 tries, was another hat trick. I mentioned it was second. No, it's actually the 4th. You see all 4 there. Utah made a couple of penalty goals, as mentioned. 44-7 run in the final 53 minutes. How about that? 6th win versus an Eastern Conference team. Utah 6-15. It's been a struggle at times. And congratulations to Kaji Young Yen, Warrior number 112, which is awesome. Then in the first 15, Banksy, Joe Mano gets mentioned as the left winger. I thought we might see a couple more guys, but at least Joe Mano deserved first 15.
You got to give it to him with the hat trick, but this was a full pull from the entire team and all 23 guys on the squad, and something definitely clicked in that final 20 minutes. That running, open style of rugby that we're used to seeing from this team showed up.
And join us Friday, because guess what? Utah plans on continuing this winning way at home against New England. Big game.
It's going to be great. If you're ready to get your tickets and be in the stands for the best home field advantage in Major League Rugby, be part of Dub Nation. Go to warriorsrugby.com right now and be in the stands as they take on the Eastern Conference leading New England Free Jacks.
Huge game. Let's talk about it right now and recap Toronto with the captain, Bailey Wilson. All right, Bailey, great to have you on the program. Congratulations on the win Saturday. That was a big one, especially in the last 18 minutes. You guys poured it on, man.
Thank you. Yeah, it's good to be here. I mean, yeah, still thrilled about that game on the weekend. Some of the best tries I've ever seen. And, yeah, it was a spectacle that the boys put on.
Okay, let's talk about it. You're down 12-3 at the 37th minute. You're down 19-18 at the 62nd minute. we saw the lineup, and we saw that was maybe the best bench that the Warriors had ever thrown out there, kind of a younger group in some spots in the starting 15. But did you guys feel like, okay, in the last 20 minutes, we can, if we are down, hey, no worries?
Yeah, I think we all knew that we could win that game. There was never really doubt in our mind. Obviously, we knew that if we could be in the game and have a close game, close scoreline by halftime, that once some of the bench came on, that they could really leave an impact in the last 30, 40 minutes of the game. There was never really a question of doubt in our mind, but yeah, I mean, some of the tries that we saw, that was just phenomenal.
So when you're down 12-3, you're like, hey, what we really need to do is just go on a 44-7 run. Like, that was the game plan.
Yeah, it wasn't the game plan, but it made the coaches happy. I'll tell you that.
It was wild. 5 tries in 16 minutes. You mentioned that's some of the best rugby we've seen. We've seen some amazing rugby the last couple of years with the Warriors. Is that the best 16-minute stretch? Because I recall, a 17-point comeback against San Diego in 2021. Beating Austin in Rugby ATL last year late in the season was impressive. But that 16-minute span, it was like every 3 minutes there was a try, man.
Yeah, it was some beautiful stuff. That was, I think, Warriors rugby at its finest. Just free-flowing, kept the ball alive, just line break after line break, and just the offloads, some of the crossfield kicks. I mean, Mika's one-handed take and the try, it was just, yeah, I mean, it was champagne rugby.
What was your favorite moment in the game? You mentioned a couple of that were really impressive.
Yeah, probably my favorite moment was probably Joel's crossfield kick to Mika with the one-handed catch. That was probably the cherry on top. But I mean, there was so many class tries. You've got Joey Mano just running amok. It just looks like he's playing against school kids out there. It was just, yeah, it was beautiful to see.
I loved his third one because he just Superman dove hey, this is fun.
Yeah. He kind of backed out a little bit. I think he remembered that it's turf that we play on and not grass.
It's like, ow. That's
yeah.
Yeah, the turf can be interesting, right? Joe Mano, let's talk about him for a second. Probably the best winger in the league. The way that he scores, the way that he dances. Okay, his first try is an ankle breaker. Mm-hmm. His second try, he gets tackled, but his one move is the reach into the try zone. And then his third is just a fun one. I mean, this guy has scored 13 tries in 12 games. Do you expect him to score every game, Bailey?
Oh, he makes it look easy. I mean, yeah, he's just, like I said, he's a class player. He's just a try-scoring machine. So I think at this point, I think it's safe to say that you can expect to see a Joe Mano try at every game. I think you said he's got 13 tries in the last 12 games. So there's a good chance you're going to see Joe Mano try again this weekend.
That's probably more than some teams the last 12 games, which is wild. Okay, Joel Hodgson, you mentioned it. Steering this team around the field. 2 crossfield kicks for scores. Incredible. And he finally got some penalty goal attempts. We had waited 5 games. He felt like he had a spectacular game as well.
Yeah, I thought he should have made the player of the week. Yeah, he had a great game. The vision and just the awareness to be able to pull off, and just the accuracy to be able to pull off a crossfield kick like that and just put it on a dime for not only once but twice in the game. It was brilliant, and it was just, yeah, it was something that you'd pay to see.
But luckily I didn't have to broadcasting the game, but I know a lot of fans did. And it was kind of cold, but Warrior Nation shows up, man. There was a great crowd despite it being kind of crisp. These fans don't care what the weather's like. They're going to be there. And we have a nice homestand right now. We'll talk about New England in a second. But what did that win mean coming off of a NOLA performance that you guys felt like you could have been way better in, and then you kind of turned it around at home in an important kind of 3 home games and 4 game stretch?
Yeah, it was crucial for us. We strive, and our goal is to win every single game at home. We have a massive advantage with the crowd, like you mentioned. The elevation plays a big factor in that as well. The fans really get behind us. We love playing at home. So that win was huge for us. We needed that heading into a big stretch of some really important games. So it was great for the confidence, and just to see some of the tries and just to see that we've got that in us and to pull that out, it was spectacular, and hopefully we can recreate that again this weekend.
So Friday night, kind of a short week, taking on New England, who was the best team in the regular season last year. They're off to a strong start at 4-1 and 19 points out of the East. What do you think of the Free Jacks?
Yeah, they're obviously a great side, top of the East. They're well coached, they're well drilled, they're physical, very South African style of rugby that they play. It's going to be a great game. I have no doubt about it. It's going to be a very physical one. We're ready for that. We're ready to show up and put on a good performance for the home fans here. And it's going to be a great game. We get to play against my brother, which I'm really excited about. So have a lot of family coming out for that game, it's going to be great. Just a great day of rugby.
What's the relationship like with your brother? You being a forward, and he's a utility back, but a capped USA Eagle now, which is pretty cool from over the summer. Is it like, are you going to hit him and not help him up? What's the relationship like there?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, yeah, I've probably got some unfinished business from childhood. I've probably got to, maybe stick his face in the dirt a little bit. But no, at the end of the day, it's all love and for any opposition. But yeah, especially for my brother. So yeah, I'm excited to share the field with him, and hopefully I can hit him a few times legally with the game in between the laws, of course. But that's going to be a great one.
What's the age difference between you two?
He's 3.5 years older than me.
He's older than you. Okay. Yeah. Did you ever play on the same team or never because 3 years difference?
Yeah. So when we first moved to the US from Australia, it was just the one high school team. There wasn't really a bunch of different teams. So we actually did play. This was in Florida. So it was Orlando Rugby Club. We played on the same team for a year there. So he was a senior and I was a freshman. And we were playing together on the same team. So it was really fun to share the field with him. But it's going to be good to go up against him this weekend.
Did he ever move to Utah, or was he old enough to where he did something else later?
Yeah, so he graduated high school in Florida and then went to Life University. So he just went straight to college, and then after that, that's when we moved to Utah, and I finished the rest of my high school here.
Gotcha. Do the Warriors know how to play 15 on 15 at this point? Because it feels like there's a card every week, man. You are busy talking to the ref about what now? What happened this week? This team certainly scored shorthanded tries last week, but it is certainly difficult to play down a man, and that's been the case for the last several games.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of our biggest issues is just the discipline. We're having to work harder than we need to at times. I think we're a very talented, skillful team. But yeah, like I said, we're just making ourselves work a little bit too hard. So if we can, keep the discipline squeaky clean and have the ref stay out of his pockets, and I think we'll win a few more games that way, just because of the talent on this team is phenomenal, but it's just the discipline. If we can sort that out, it's just going to make our lives easier.
Listen, if something happens with Mitch and he retaliates, maybe that's the yellow that the other team will get.
Yeah, hopefully. That'd be nice.
They never see the first one; they see the second one.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on the win. Really looking forward to Friday night on FS2 to a national audience, which would be awesome. And Warrior Nation will be there. Anything you want to say to the fans about Friday night's game? Yeah, no, just we look forward to seeing you out there in the stands. We love you guys and we appreciate all the support. We're looking forward to put on a big show for you guys at home again, like we did last week, and hopefully we can turn up in front of a full crowd. Okay, Bailey, we appreciate the time. Best of luck, and we'll see you Friday. Cheers. Thanks, Jarom. Our thanks to Bailey Wilson for joining the program. Okay, let's recap what happened in round 6. NOLA Gold on a 3-game win streak after beating Old Glory DC 20-17. New England beat Dallas 10-9. That was a tight one. Houston took down Rugby ATL 40-28, and Seattle beat Chicago 27-5. They only played the first half due to inclement weather. Any surprises there in round 6 to you?
I thought that Rugby ATL game against Houston would be a whole lot closer. I think that's a big statement from Houston about a return to form there for them. Not really shocked about any of the other scores in the games. Impressed at how close Dallas is able to keep it with New England. Some other highlights, obviously, 3 on the trot for NOLA. Some points there coming out of the East, but a lot of fun things happening around Major League Rugby right now.
Okay, let's check out the standings. Seattle and San Diego tied at 21 points apiece. Houston right there in that third playoff spot At 20, Utah right behind it. 14 points, Chicago and Dallas there as well. In the East, New England leading with 19 points. Hey, coming in Friday, Nola Gold on fire right now with 14 points in second place. DC, ATL, New York, and Toronto round out the East. The schedule this week: Friday Night Lights for New England at Utah. Can't wait for that one. Saturday, Toronto at Dallas. And then 4 games on Sunday: Houston at Chicago, Seattle at NOLA, Rugby ATL at New York, DC at San Diego. What's the game of the week besides Utah to you?
There's a lot of highlights there. I think Houston at Chicago is going to be great. Seattle going to New Orleans. New Orleans on form right now. Seattle haven't dropped a game yet. That's going to be crucial. The one I'm most curious about, though, is a team struggling for form right now in Toronto and a team struggling for their first franchise win in Dallas. Dallas keeps building, getting better and better. Could this be the week the Jackals get their first franchise win?
It might be a tie. That'd be funny. But yeah, maybe Jackals get the win. We'll see, man. We'll see. And join us Friday for the Junior Warriors. Can't wait to have that again on game day.
If you want to get your kids involved in the greatest game on earth, get checked in to a Junior Warriors clinic. Our very own Ashley Burge does a great job, as well as the players and coaches who get involved. You get tickets to the game, a t-shirt, and access and exposure to players, the team, and the game that we love so much. Go to junior.warriorsrugby.com. That's junior.warriorsrugby.com and sign up for the Junior Warriors pregame clinics now.
Okay, Friday, Utah hosting New England at 7:30 Mountain Time. This is live on FS2. Banksy and Wayne Tata50 will have the call on the radio, ESPN 960 and 92.1 FM. Free Jacks 4-1, 19 points, first place in the Eastern Conference. Only losses at San Diego. Utah has a loss there as well. It's a tough place to play. A couple of storylines in this one. Best record in MLR last year went to New England, 13-3. Fourth meeting all time, 2-1 for New England. Last meeting was last year on April 30th at Veterans Memorial Stadium. Utah lost 33-17. Utah is 4-3 at home against the Eastern Conference, so better than they are worse, right? First home match ever versus New England as well. A couple of notes statistically about New England: first in dominant tackles in the league, second in carries and scrums won, third in tackles percentage made and penalties. A couple of players to watch as well. Paul Balikana, winger, has 4 tries. John Pullen, the scrum half, has 3. Wian Conrade, second rower, first in MLR with carries, team high in meters gained, team high in tackles, Namibian international. Cliven Lopser is a homie with him. Jason Patros, a fly half, pretty good kicker. And Mitch Wilson, Bailey Wilson's brother, as we talked to him about, has a try as a USA winger. That brother-on-brother crime is going to be fun to watch.
It'll be exciting, but, they play in 2 different parts of the field, so we'll see if we get any collision of the familial kind in that match. I think for England, as Conradi goes, so does the rest of this team. He is the form player in that forward pack. He's the difference maker. He is their dynamic star in that loose forward area. So can Utah neutralize him and minimize his impact and take advantage of the rest of that squad? That's going to be the key.
If there was a Vegas line, it'd be New England favored in this one. So how does Utah pull off the upset, Banksy?
You got to play to your strengths, and we saw that in the final 20 minutes against Toronto. This team is great when the forwards are interplaying really well with the backs, when there's multiple layers of attacking line, sideline to sideline. You can't get stuck in that middle third of the field. These guys really are at their best when they're throwing the ball around.
Kane, get yourself geared up, man. It's getting warmer, but it might be a little crisp Friday night as well.
I will say brisk and breezy potentially. If you want to get the latest in Utah Warriors gear, go to shop.warriorsrugby.com. Be suited up and ready to go in the 4 stripes and the best looking kit in Major League Rugby. Don't wait till you get to the stadium and stand in line. Get it delivered so you show ready to cheer on your Utah Warriors at shop.warriorsrugby.com.
Okay, that'll do it for us. Like and share this episode of Dub Nation and follow the Utah Warriors on social media. Friday, the Warriors host New England, 7:30 Mountain Time on FS2. Listen to Banksy and Wayne Tata50 on ESPN 960 and 92.1 FM. Our thanks to the captain, Bailey Wilson, for joining the show, which was produced by Mason Benson. For Banksy, I'm Jarom. Go Warriors.